Hello, welcome to the video, and today I'm going to be talking about solving quadratic equations. And to solve quadratic equations, there are three methods, well, kind of four, but three that I'm going to go over. So the first one is you want to isolate x squared. So you can only isolate x squared if you do not have an x term, which I'll show you in the example. Two, you can factor the quadratic equation. Or three, you can use the quadratic formula. And the quadratic formula, if you don't remember, is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. One breath there. You can do a lot of things to memorize that. You can, do a song. You can do some other, there's a little story that goes with it, with the negative boy, so forth. But go ahead and try to memorize that. You will need it. And the other one is to complete the square, but we don't use completing the square that often. We use it when we do conic sections later on in pre-calculus, and sometimes in algebra 2. So if you want to learn completing the square, I'll do a separate video on that. But for this one, we're only going to use those three other methods. So let's go and take a look at some examples here of solving quadratic equations. So my first example, and all of these again, we're just solving. So remember that I might not put that there, but that's what we're doing. So let's have 10x squared minus 250 equals 0. Now look, for this one, again, we don't have an x term. Everything's just an x. We have an x squared and a constant term. So we can use the method of isolating x squared. So isolate x squared just like you would a regular linear equation. But the most important thing is that when you take the square root of both sides here at the last portion, you want to make sure you put plus or minus the square root of 25, because you can have a positive or negative here in your x. It could be either negative 5 all squared would be 25, or positive 5 all squared would be 25. Now, that's when we're solving a quadratic, but if we're just taking the square root of 25 normally, like we just have square root of 25, then in that case it's just going to be 5. So, but when we are actually solving for x, we have x squared, and we take the square root of both sides. It's really, really important that you use plus or minus square root, okay? So that's problem number one. Let's look at another example here. Example 2, which is 3x squared minus 5x equal to positive 2. So one of the things you want to remember with these is you want to make sure that you have everything equal to 0. So I'm going to set this equal to 0 because it is the 0 product property, not the 2 product property. Okay, then I'm going to factor. In this case, this one can factor to 3x plus 1 and x minus 2. Okay, so that's going to give me x equals negative 1/3 because I'm going to set this equal to 0. Then I'm going to set this one also equal to 0 and solve that. And I get x equals negative 1/3 or x equals 2. So I'm going to set each of these equal to 0 and solve them like a linear equation. Okay. So let's look at my last example here, which is using the quadratic formula. And I know I'm talking pretty fast, but I think that you can do the best you can to either one, keep up, or two, just take and pause the video when you need to. So here we're going to use the quadratic formula. So negative b is negative 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Okay, this is a, this is c, divided by 2a. Okay, I'm going to simplify this. 1 squared plus 4, 8, 16 over 4, which is going to give me 1 plus or minus the square root of 17 over 4. There are two answers here, right? 1 plus root 17 over 4 and 1 minus root 17 over 4. Okay? All right, so those are two answers using the quadratic formula. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys. So those are three examples. I'll put up 3 practice problems just like those. Remember that when you're doing this, you might want to simplify this if you need to. And that's it. Okay, so we got 3 methods: factoring, isolate x squared, quadratic formula. Okay, so here are your practice problems. The first one is solve 3x squared minus 27 equal to 0. Second one is solve 6x squared minus x equal to 1. And the last one is solve 2x squared minus 4x minus 5 equal to 0. Okay, so if you want, you can pause the video right now. I'm going to go ahead and finish off with the solutions to each of these, okay? All right, welcome back from being paused. I know I'm getting really right in front of it, okay? Big eyes here. I'm going to go ahead and give you the solutions to these, okay? So we're going to get 3x squared equal to 27. Divide by 3. We're going to get 9. X is plus or minus 3, okay? Boom, piece of cake, right? Let's look at number 2. Number 2 was 6x squared minus x equal to 1. Excuse the announcement here. They're telling me that I need to be somewhere. Okay, minus 1 equals 0. All right, I'm going to factor 2x minus 1. 3x plus 1 equals 0. And I'm going to get x equals 1/2 or x equals negative 1/3. Boom. Okay, there's the answer. All right, so last one. And then apparently I got to get to a meeting. So I had 2x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0. I'm going to use the quadratic formula. I'm going to get x equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 56 over 4. And after I do all the math there, I'm going to simplify this to 4 plus or minus 2 square root 14 over 4. Now, what you need to do to simplify this is the 2 goes into all of these. 2 goes in there twice, 2 goes in that one, 2 goes in there twice. You can only do them all at once. You can't do them each separate. So we get 2 plus or minus root 14 all over 2. And this is going to be our complete answer, okay? Hopefully you guys got that. Good luck. See you next time.